It's Tina and Heather. We're back working on some balancing of the masculine and feminine energies in our own being, in our relationships. And that's enough, right? So that's what we're working on today. We kind of just got to a point where we are, we can use this framework. So this sacred masculine and sacred feminine energy is really just a framework for us to understand ourselves, spiritual energy, the way the world works, and it really is so helpful in balancing and healing our wounds. So using this framework, Heather has come to some realizations. Do you want to just share kind of the bullet points of those?
Yeah. So basically kind of working through this, I'd been working through my vulnerability with the masculine, and that led to a realization that I was not being vulnerable with myself and honest with myself around the desire to have a masculine influence in my life that held space, that held that container for my feminine, and that held that, that guardian protector space, that supportive space. And digging into that further, I realized that that was rooted really in a sort of fear of abandonment, but it was more rooted in the grief of what never was, as far as that side of it is concerned. But then there's also this other side of it where I've gone too far into my feminine and become way too flowy and not actually honoring the self in this whole process. And I've just kind of gone to whatever they're doing and just gone with the flow of whatever they needed, and stopped even recognizing the honoring of the self, which is, again, leads back to that fear of abandonment, and that I was afraid that if I was too difficult or something, that the person would not be interested anyways, that the masculine would retreat. And of course, I cognitively know that this is not how any of this works, but and it's not embodied.
Play out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to play out. And so it can bubble up too, for us to really recognize and own, our place in the world and the other energies that we need around us. And that is so much what a lot of us are going through right now, as the shift of the ages that we were just talking about earlier. It's time to be in community again, and to not think that we have to each do it all. We are made to live in community and to have partners and to work together and to cooperate to build amazing things. Humans can do amazing things, and we can take care of each other, but we have to do it. We can't be in this individual box anymore. And that's, we're all breaking out of that individual box collectively.
Yeah. Well, and it becomes an issue. It becomes a liability in relationships when you're over here in this energy of, I can do it all myself. And they're in the energy of, well, I'm not ready to do for you. But you can't be, and you can't unite the masculine and the feminine in that way unless you are actually willing to intermingle that way. If you're both over here trying to do it all yourselves, it's not going to create that polarity that you need to unite that relationship.
Yes. We have to acknowledge our weaknesses, and, really it's just, we're strong in some things, and then other things are just not for us to be doing or to be engaged.
I feel like it's, I don't even look at it as a weakness. I just feel like we have these strengths that are perfectly polar in the masculine dominant and the feminine dominant. And if we really own and honor those areas of ourselves, then it creates that polarity that is very attractive. But when we're kind of dabbling in something else and we're not really very balanced in this thing, then it's repellent to the other energy.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've kind of diagnosed the issue in terms of this framework is that Heather has been imbalanced. The feminine energy of flexibility and being able to go with the flow and flowing around problems, um, and being the person that holds the emotional space, and all those feminine qualities are absolutely valuable. They're not valued as much as they should be, but they're valuable and needed just as much as all the masculine energy that's out there, right?
And this is for anyone who's watched the beginning parts of my journey, this is a swing from the other side. Like I literally explored one side of it and had been in one side of it for pretty much like my whole life in the imbalanced masculine. And then as I balanced that and really got into my feminine, I've swung to really explore the other extremes. So now it's perfect for me to be able to find that balance, which has happened a lot in my healing journey.
Yes, and it's important for us to explore the whole spectrum of all of those, that's what the first half of life is about, right? Is exploring all of the possibilities, and then finding which ones feel right for you.
Yeah.
So even though that flexibility and ability to flow around obstacles is so valuable, it can be imbalanced. We can go too far in embodying those qualities. And so when we find that we're doing that, it's just information, no judgment. We're all here to learn and to feel our way through this physical experience that, the masculine and the feminine energies just really help describe this whole being a spiritual being in a physical body.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking while you were talking earlier, I was looking for my masculine and feminine list, and it might be over here. I can definitely pull it up on the computer if I can't find I like to grab a paper if I can.
Well, and this process is, these are all things that I've touched on in my journey. This is just like a super deep spiral. And part of the thing that I realized that I've actually worked through in this journey is that there was a belief there that there was inherently something wrong with the way that I loved. And that's why people would always leave. That there was something wrong with the way that I was showing up in relationships, the way that I love, that was like oh my gosh, realization that I felt that way. But being able to dissect it and really look at it and dive underneath to see like, okay, this is where all of this is actually rooted in, has allowed that fear, that belief to actually go and realize that that's not actually what's happening. And I don't really feel the weight of that anymore. It's more like, okay, This is just this energy. This is just the way that these energies are imbalanced. And let's
celebrate that. That's huge. That's so huge, man. And those, that's the way that, this work is like on one hand really magical and like creates these huge shifts. But on the other hand, you have to keep doing it every single day, like, to reach those magical moments, to really experience the kind of up leveling and expansion and maintain that expansion and continue to, it's a beautiful process.
Yeah.
So hooray for that amazing realization. No, you're not broken.
I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong.
The world is broken, and the expectations are broken, and the things that boys have been told masculinity is broken, and the things that girls have been told femininity is broken, and we're finding our way through balancing that and fixing that, I think. But it's messy. It's going to be messy for a while, as evidenced by even just literally like the gender issues that the world that are coming to the surface for everybody to look at and wrestle with. So it's
funny now, feminism, the whole thing of like, oh, she's a feminist used to like actually mean something. And now when somebody says that to me with like the background that I've gained, I'm like, I need you to explain to me what you think that means. Like, what does that mean to you? Because
So many different definitions, right?
Yeah.
And that was talk about the pendulum swinging. You know, it needed to swing into this really intense, you know, place, even militant place, right? You know, for us to really see like, you know, most women are like, that's not how I want to do things, you know, but that,
Yeah.
whatever, okay, that it had to go there first before it could kind of, yeah.
Before it could start to come back. We had to realize that the masculine power was actually not what felt right in our bodies before we could figure out that there must be something else.
Well, and the distorted masculine is really what we've mostly experienced. You know, it hasn't been a healthy masculine energy that most humans have experienced in their lives. So, you know, we're just, even as humanity, discovering what does that even look like and mean and feel like. And, I don't know, I guess some people think we had that balance. I mean, to me, that's the Garden of Eden, having that balance of, you know, divine masculine and divine feminine. And maybe that's how we fell. That's how we, you know, lost our harmony and our perfection, is when we began to believe these lies about the masculine and the feminine, really.
And
you
how
know?
they, yes.
Yeah, and then we bought into it so deeply for so many generations now. Yeah, so as I was getting ready for our session, the universal laws of conscious creation jumped out at me, and I don't know if it means we need to look at the universal law of gender, or if we need to pull it. I was thinking maybe we would end up pulling a card, but I keep looking through here and gender is not coming up. I can't remember what number it is.
I don't know. I definitely feel like
42.
There's something about, like, there's something in here that's like a deeper thing than my cognitive level is reaching.
Yeah. Right. Which is why we can do this work by ourselves a lot. And then we just every once in a while need to check in with somebody else to help us, like, kind of pull back that layer, because it's scary. It feels scary to go into the subconscious.
Well, and sometimes it's like, for me, it's just like there's some kind of, like, I can't see it myself right now, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
There.
So I pulled up my list. Can you see it?
Yes.
Hopefully it's being recorded. We've got our list of feminine energies. And so we can express them in a balanced way or in an imbalanced way, or, you know, the distorted way, the lies. These are the lies.
Can we,
the right side here.
Can we go through that a little bit? I want to see if I'm pulled to any that
you look at this, and I'm going to look at the universal law of gender.
Well,
and
can't make
share
it move
with
on my
folks
screen.
while you kind of look at that.
I can't make it move on my screen to scroll through, though.
Start with the verse 12 while I do this, and then we'll look at there's only a few more after that. So the law of gender states that existence is comprised of masculine and feminine principles. Here, gender refers to masculine and feminine energies rather than the physical or sexual attributes of male and female. Women have both feminine and masculine energies, and the same is true for men. The feminine principle is receptive, and the masculine principle is dynamic in nature. When combined together, these energies are a creative force. The properties of your masculine energy are outward projecting and are experienced as your conscious mind, action, force, will, and directive nature. And we have a whole list to add to that on the masculine page. So here are some of the properties of the feminine, which are inward drawing and experienced as unconscious mind and your receptive, attracting, and intuitive nature. So, of course, we have to balance our masculine and feminine energy in order to create in the world. And then that's where, you know, we can, when we co-create with other people, it's like we can borrow their, you know, if like, here's one, my eyes just landed on being grounded and present in your body. I was terrible at that. But my husband, who's in a male body, but he's really good at that feminine, holding that feminine energy. And so he helped me learn that. Yoga helped me learn that. He helped me learn that. Other practices, you know, a lot of somatic. I've done a lot of somatic work, and, you know, a lot of this energy psychology that we do is somatic. We can use the body to to access emotions, to figure out this masculine feminine balance. That's a huge. All right. Were you done with the first 8?
I think it has to lie somewhere in those first few. I think it's so, because it's that, let's see, it's the supportive, because I'm basically, it's not necessarily nurturing others, but it's that supporting others' things, particularly
the place where you're feeling imbalanced.
Yeah, like supporting their, on one side of it, it's supporting their needs rather than even recognizing my own in some areas, not in some areas. And so there's that, like, I don't even know exactly which areas it does, because I don't do it everywhere, right? All of these things kind of come in different layers, but they're definitely areas.
You're in number 3 here.
Yeah. And then there's also under number 5, the submission doormat syndrome. It's sort of been like that. There's definitely an imbalance there in the flexibility and allowing that flow. I'm just too flow.
That's the one I was thinking of when you started talking about that. I was like, we need to look at the distorted one of that.
Yeah, because it's kind of gotten to the point where I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever you need, whatever you know, it's
right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not even seeing where I'm feeling that I'm not happy with it, but it's like I'm not seeing, and I'm seeing what happens is that I see what I wish that they would be doing, what I desire, but what I'm not seeing is the honoring, like where I need to actually like honor myself in these things to begin with, and be like, you know what, actually I'm not okay with that.
And so if you go down here to sensitivity, the opposite of that is a martyr complex.
Okay.
That's what my eyes just landed on. I wonder, because this is what, so we might be going like past lives here. I don't know, of like clearing something that's,
I don't know, whatever it is. I don't
like
see
this is what
I normally see stuff.
I'm wondering if we also maybe don't need to look at the masculine list and use one of those.
I was kind of feeling that too, that there may be something in the masculine that I'm needing, like that there's something in the masculine that's a little imbalanced in the same sort of area, where we're really just needing to pull those two together.
Yeah. So I think definitely.
Which would make sense since we're doing the union of masculine feminine right now.
Well, yeah. And this, yeah, it's about it being safe to be in that sensitivity and that surrender and that flexibility. You're doing okay on self-care. I'm asking.
Yeah, I do okay on self-care, but I have noticed that when I'm in, like, when I am like spending time with the masculine, I will choose to spend time with them over doing my stuff for me.
Okay, yeah. So there's an imbalance. That's on number 3 on the opposite side, the distorted side. See, unable to nourish and love ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely when I'm trying to unite the masculine and feminine, there's definitely an issue there.
Yeah, because his energy is you're so in this sensitivity and that attractive nature they were talking about in the Universal Laws book,
Mm-hmm.
that you're just like sucked like a magnet.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe it's not a masculine thing. I don't know. All right. So
I don't know.
ask.
But I'm gaining some steps here, so this is good.
Yeah, this is all very good information for your conscious mind. That's all this is because it's been bubbling up, and then just coming to this list can really help. Sometimes for people watching at home, so a lot of times I'll just muscle test numbers, and we'll just go to one of these things and we'll just start doing balances on that. But sometimes, I mean, Heather's to the point where we're working on this herself, like, you're ready to go to this list and be like, oh, wow, this is the thing I've been imbalanced on, and
Well,
then,
and the funny thing is, if I would have gone to this myself, I wouldn't have even looked at the unable to nourish and love ourselves, because I do my self practice all the time, but
check those boxes.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not that, like, checking the boxes isn't enough.
It's at certain levels that I still don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Right on. Okay. So yeah, so the most appropriate approach for balancing these energies is to work in the feminine, in the masculine. So feminine is testing strong. One thing I think, maybe just not for today, for you, is to look at that masculine list and just keep working. You've been doing your boundary work. You've been doing your self-care work, which is helping you see this right now. That, oh yeah, I've been checking the boxes of the self-care, but it hasn't been that vulnerable self-care, that really, cracking myself open every day and cleaning out those wounds and really doing my work. Yeah. And so just keep working on that stuff, in terms of, balancing that, just because that will help you in these moments because what happens is you are in that feminine energy so strongly that you need like a reminder, like, oh, these are my boundaries. Like, your list is ready.
Yeah.
Like, like any habit that we're trying to change, you need to have that list of, these are my priorities, these are my boundaries, that doesn't fit with that, I'm gonna let you go do that, I'm gonna go do this. And then it is a balanced relationship, right? You're not just always like sucked up, like that. I'm just seeing that strong magnet, like when we do the science experiments with the kids, and
that's what it feels like.
Super strong magnets. Yeah. That and you literally are powerless.
Yeah.
Because
I literally,
that other framework. Yeah.
And I've gone through this with so many of my boundaries, and this is just another level that I'm seeing of the same thing.
Okay, so the most appropriate approach for balancing this energy that we've been talking about, all these in number 3 and number 5 mostly, is to do individual balances on individual statements. Okay, so we're not doing that right now. But I think that's what you can work on moving forward.
And they usually when there's like one statement that I need to, it'll usually come to mind and I'll be able to go into it.
Yeah, and really it just takes kind of looking at that list of, the masculine side and just being like, oh yeah, I really need to be more whatever that it is in this, thing. I need to have that assertive energy, or I need to have that, whatever. There's 21, I think, on that list. So, and you can always muscle test too if you're really at a loss.
Right.
All right. So the most appropriate way to balance this energy is with a heart-based process. Okay. And we need to do, it's a chamber process. So it's like cleaning the chambers. Let's go see what we find in your heart space, and just look to find whatever block you have. It's in your subconscious. We're just going to heal it.
Okay. Do you think, do we want to muscle test to see if there's anything, is this going to address the sort of underlying of all of this that I've kind of felt like is that abandonment thing, the fear
The
of
fear
or
of
belief of what
abandonment,
wasn't,
yeah, is a
or
part
like
of
the
the
grief of the
healing.
masculine not having shown up.
Yes. I mean, I'm kind of already feeling like we're going into that little girl, that because you had to, I mean, that's why you had such, you know, when I met you, your masculine energy was so huge and so imbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you had to, as a little girl, try to figure out how to hold emotional space for you and your family and everybody around you in that way. I mean, Lord,
Yeah.
it's, this is a deep wound for you to really let go of that old program totally, 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 you
Yeah,
know,
because
and
I do feel that it's still that kind of picking up the reins and feeling like I have to do it because I don't trust the masculine to step in and do it in a
yes,
balanced way.
right,
Yeah.
right. And that has to do with, oh gosh, it has to do with so many things. I'm gonna stop talking because I think we just need to go into the process for you and let whatever bubbles up for you bubble up.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're just gonna go into your heart space.
Should I lay down or sit up or?
It's important for Heather's crown to be facing upward. You can lie down.
Okay.
But you don't have to. Just get relaxed.
I'm just going to kind of lean back here.
Yeah, just be relaxed. And so we'll just call in the divine energy of unconditional love to assist and protect as we go through this process, excavating these wounds and healing and finding wholeness. All right, so just a moment of gratitude. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for giving us these tools and being with us in this time to help Heather go into this place where it used to be fear, and we're going to replace it with love and light. So just ground your energy, drop your energy down into the earth, Heather, and allow Mother Earth to hold you and support you. Really plugging into that divine feminine energy. And then just allow yourself to be surrounded and cloaked in the divine masculine energy. It might feel like warmth or light or just a presence. You might not feel anything, but just acknowledge and allow and open to receive both that feminine energy of Mama Gaia supporting you and that masculine energy of the divine, creative, active energy that's out there, that's here for you always. Open to receive that balanced energy, and then just begin to go inward into your heart space. And if you notice any disharmony, discord in your kind of physical, energetic being as you go inward, just allow that divine energy, that energy of unconditional love, to just touch that place and just soothe it. So we can just keep going inward into the heart space. And just take note of any discord, disharmony that you notice. We can come back to it. We might need to come back to it at some point. Just keep moving with your mind's eye inward, inward, inward into your heart space. There's a portal there that takes us into our deepest self. It houses parts of ourselves that had to splinter off, and in order for protection and in order to just move forward in life, we just kind of protected that part of ourselves kind of in this portal, this other dimension, really energetic dimension. So just notice what you notice, Heather, and let me know when you find a room, a chamber, or a door, or an opening. Might present more as a portal. Can present in a lot of different ways. So just let me know when you feel like you've arrived at the place that is limiting you in balancing these energies.
You know what's interesting is, so I can find the portal. There are two things that, one, the feeling of the being surrounded by the masculine energy just to begin with was emotional.
Good. Yes. Good. So you release some. Yes.
Just to be able to receive that and feel that was really. And then the other thing that I noticed as I was going inward that kind of came to mind and that I recognized is, as much as I am in my feminine chakra portals are pretty much closed. Like the feminine heart chakra portal, I've been working through like Kundalini and stuff to open that more. But I always have this like protective, like I don't have this openness in my heart chakra. Like there's definitely a lot of work there that I often have my shoulders forward. Mm-hmm. And this kind of feeling of like protected, and it feels vulnerable to actually be in a open-hearted pose. And I can feel that in my feminine heart chakra in the back, it's a little closed. It's a little, and even when I go and like if I get adjustments and stuff, my back between the shoulder blades in that feminine area, it's very tense.
Yes, that's important information, and we'll work with that moving forward.
So, okay. But otherwise, I can find my portal. I've been there often. So.
Okay, and so as you go there, once you go in there, so then we'll see. It might be multiple options of rooms to go into, or it might be one big open something. Whatever. Once you go through, just let me know what you see and what is there for us to work with.
I see there are multiple doors.
Okay. And does any one kind of light up or make itself known as the first one we need to pay attention to?
Yeah, there's definitely one on the left side that I'm feeling called to. And there's also one on the right side that I'm feeling called to.
Okay, so which one do you want to go to first?
I feel like I want to go to the left one first. The right one keeps tugging me, but I feel like I want to go to the left one first.
Okay, that sounds good to me. It's muscle testing strong too, so just notice what you notice as you move to that door. And just let me know how it looks, how you feel as you approach it.
I feel like the other side of it is completely unknown. Like I don't know what to expect on the other side of it.
Okay, so let me know when you're ready to open it.
I feel ready. I don't feel a huge sense of fear. It's just kind of an unknown.
All right, so open the door. And you can just stand there and look in first. You can walk right in, whatever feels right. Just take your time.
It's actually an outdoor space, like a forested space.
Okay. So you see trees?
Yeah, there are trees. It's bright.
Awesome. So let's take a little walk in this bright forest.
I feel like there's something, I can't tell. There's an innocence in here.
Mm-hmm. You know what I saw when you said it was like Bambi.
I was going to say there's some kind of like presence that I couldn't tell if it was an animal or if it was a
Well, I
child.
just see the movie, like the scene from the movie of that
Yeah, actually,
forest
yeah,
I
very
saw.
much. Yeah, it's very much like that.
So you do sense like a presence of some kind of,
Some kind of innocent energy, some kind of,
okay.
yeah.
What happens if you approach that energy?
It's welcoming. I still
Okay.
can't put, it almost feels more animal-like than childlike,
Okay.
but it is a welcoming presence. It doesn't seem to be afraid or running away.
Can you sense its emotions at all, or are you just still pretty far away from it?
I'm pretty close to it. It seems to feel a little lost and scared.
Okay. Glad to see you, maybe.
Definitely.
All right. So what happens if you know, kind of hold this space for it to be lost and scared? How can I help? What is it? How does it respond?
It just wants to be held.
Good. Yeah, let's just hold it. And allow whatever emotion to move and flow. Mm. And can this energy, like if you remind this energy, this innocence, that, you know, God is with us, God is, the divine is protecting and nurturing and caring, and the universe is providing, and all, if you give all of that truth that you know now to this innocent energy, does that help it?
Well, let's see.
I just want to acknowledge the divine in this, help this part.
So I recognized that, it's the parents are not here. That feeling of protection is not here and being offered right now
Mm-hmm.
by the parent, but that we have this, universal energy, and I'm really feeling called, of course, to focus on the cosmic energy, the masculine universe energy, that protection is here and always around. And it still felt a little disconnected.
That's
And
okay.
so I called in that feeling of the cloak that I felt around me when we first began this.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
just kind of brought that energy in.
Perfect. Exactly what that energy needed to feel, that innocence needed to understand that what it experienced when the parents were not able to be the perfect masculine and feminine energies, of course they weren't. That divine energy is always there. And as children, we often aren't aware, or we're told, even if we're aware of the divine energy that's there taking care of us, we're often told that that's our imagination. So we turn it off. So yeah, so a lot of this process is about reintroducing that balanced masculine energy that is there to protect and support and provide everything you need. Everything you need is coming to you. And then grown-ups get in the way and they tell us, nope, that's a lie. That's a fantasy. Don't believe it. But usually as young children, we do have that connection where we can feel at some point, even before we remember, right? Most of us don't even remember when we were 2 years old and we could feel the presence of spirit, you know, so strongly.
Yeah.
So many people report that, you know, they had divine and supernatural experiences, you know, with, it could be with like a cultural representative of the divine, but it also, it's sometimes it's just an energy that they feel and they know that they're safe and supported. And then it stops at like 4 or 5. Those visits stop happening.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're told in regular life, everybody's like, that's not real. That's your imagination. And so we do shut off we shut down the valve. So how is this innocence feeling now? Is the lost and scared feeling still there? Or is it
No.
feeling safe, supported, secure?
Yeah.
Can he, she, it feel any reason not to reintegrate with you and not to just continue to be held by you? And
No, actually, you know, I was going to say that there's still a sadness.
okay.
But
So that
as I sort of moved to the feeling of integration and continuing to be held by me, then it was like, oh, okay, because it was like a sadness of like a loneliness.
oh,
But that offer of continuing to be held by me, that felt better.
Yes. Always and forever. Yes. And that's what that part of you needed to know, is that is always available. Always, 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 always. That masculine cloak. I usually don't say the word cloak when I'm describing that energy, you know.
But that's what it feels like. It does, because I've been missing that guardian protector.
That is what that feeling is what you needed today, and what that piece of you needs today to feel and to know is real and is available all the time. Ah, beautiful. So how does your environment look right now? Is it, you still in the Bambi forest, or?
Yeah, it's still it's still the Bambi forest, and it just feels more serene and complete now.
Yes. Well, I just muscle tested that we're done with this room, but let's bask in this feeling of reuniting with this innocence, allowing that energy is now allowed to be a part of you, right? You had shut that part out because that's not safe to be innocent and, you know, needing support and protection. And now it's safe. Now you can need it and allow it, and you know what it feels like. Yes, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so clear to me that as a child it wasn't safe to need that because I didn't know where I could even get it from.
Yeah. All right, so there's another door that we need to, oh yeah, there's that door on the right, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, take your time. We're going to go to that door on the right, but we're celebrating also with that innocence energy, this this reuniting, this wholeness, new level of wholeness, that you can now move through the world from this new place of wholeness. Thank goodness.
Okay, so I'm at the other door.
Okay. How does that door feel?
So it's funny, this one feels, just the composition of it is different. Like this one is more like a, I don't know, it's sort of like a cave. It's like rock. It's solid, but it's like smooth and rounded. It's not jagged. And it's light colored. It's not like a dark, imposing thing. It's just
like a Disney cave?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're in the Disney realm today.
I'm getting all these images as you describe these things. I'm like, that's like a cave from Guineas or something. That's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's kind of intriguing. Like, ooh, let's go in there and see what's happening.
It's not
have an adventure.
It's not imposing. Yeah, it's more like an adventure. Like, I don't know what's on the other side of it, but it's not scary.
Right on. All right. So yeah, let's walk through and see what we find on the other side.
Okay, so as I walk in, it is a cave inside. And it's not bright, it is dark, but it still doesn't feel scary. And it seems like there's a presence here. I can't quite put my finger on the feelings that I'm feeling from it.
Okay. Just breathe and take your time. Just allow it to come. We'll just evoke that, divine protection, knowing that we are safe in that cloak of masculine energy. We're safely held by Mama Gaia.
Okay, it's starting to come to me. I was feeling, this is interesting. So the other one was it was on the left side and it was sort of a feminine earthy space, but it needed the masculine energy. And this one is more of a masculine type space on the right side. But I was feeling the need to call in that feminine Mama Gaia energy. And it started to come to me that the presence in this room is of needing a space for that fire and assertiveness to be held. For that.
I'm seeing a little girl stamping her foot and saying
for that anger and for that.
Like, this is, I see some shit that is wrong around here and y'all are not paying attention, listening to me, and oh my law, what is going on?
Yes,
Physical
that voice. Yes. And I'm seeing that relating back to that voice that I wasn't able to have, those boundaries I wasn't able to hold, that anger I wasn't able to express of something being wrong. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So now you get to be that presence to say, it's okay, baby girl, you get to express it all now. And people are going to actually be listening now. Good news.
Yes.
Yeah, so just let her know that it is safe now. It's time. And they didn't know. We're going to forgive all those people that didn't know that they needed to let you just have that righteous anger. That it was okay. It's okay to let little girls have their righteous anger, and big girls too. Because that's how the world changes. That's how the wars get stopped.
Yes. There are so many things that are coming to me about
just
that.
let them come. I'm sure it's like I'm seeing a movie in my head right now.
And you know what it is? So, my mom was always there. She supported, I was able to have that voice with her. But I get silenced with the masculine because I wasn't able to do it with the masculine. So now I'm feeling called to bring that. It was almost like she was afraid of having that masculine energy in there. She wanted that feminine energy to be able to like stand up and say that. And then now I'm feeling called to bring that masculine energy in, that balanced masculine energy, to allow her to feel safe to express that no.
Yep. Yes. This just happened recently. Came up again that the red tent was a really great workaround for a long time, but now it's time for us to bring that, all of it, the emotion, monthly emotional cleansing is important, and the dudes need to listen to us about that. And it's now time for us to bring all this that was safe to express with our sisters, is now time to be expressed in the unity of the masculine and feminine, where everybody's there, the whole forum.
I've been feeling called so deeply to do that, and I've been having people tell me that the masculine isn't ready, and I'm like, no, it is ready. And it's fine.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of dudes out there. There are a lot of people out there that their masculine energy is not ready. Sure,
but I'm okay being at the forefront of that, and taking the brunt of the men not being ready, because there are ones out there that are.
There's enough that are. Yeah, there are plenty. There are more coming online every day. In the last 5 years, it's bananas. It's amazing how
it's
many.
It's funny how I've been feeling so deeply drawn to. I mean, I knew in the beginning I wanted to do this work with the masculine too, but as I've gone through some of these masculine feminine archetypes and really gotten to just the meat of some of this, I just have felt so deeply drawn to doing a men's circle. And immediately the facilitator was like, oh, I don't know if you're going to get men to do that. They're not going to open up to a woman. They're not going to like a woman leading it. They're not going to feel vulnerable in front of an attractive woman. And I was like, no. Priestesses and goddesses of ancient times used to lead this. Men would come to women for this, and there's a reason. And the reason they're not comfortable now is because of that toxic masculine. They're afraid of the feminine. But it's time for us to unite and balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And even my best friend was like, I don't know, that's not, men need a men's space for this. I'm like, women need a women's space, but we also need men as well, and they need women as well, whether they like it or
not. I really do feel like that time of, it was important all those years when the energies were so imbalanced and the divine feminism was so suppressed for millennia. We needed the separate feminine space and the separate having a men's group and a women's group was a very important part of healing all of that. But that's why in Sacred Circle I quit, after, I don't know, the first year. I was like, no, we're done doing a women's only group. It's time to allow men to be in the space too.
Yeah.
And, and just as women have had to kind of force themselves into the men's sphere, and say, look, survival dictates that we've got to, we got to play in this masculine realm too, even though they didn't like it.
Right.
Oh, but now it really is time. Female only spaces still have their place for sure, and male only spaces still have their place for sure, but it is time to bring it together more. Absolutely.
And it's so funny because I can see the facilitator, the owner of this yoga at Sun Yoga. I know it's from fear of, he was afraid to do a masculine feminine mixed because the men might come in with all of these unsavory ideas and they might be taking advantage of, and it's these wounds that
So
these fears.
yeah. And we need to acknowledge that's the problem with like we were talking about earlier, the feminist movement, is that it doesn't acknowledge the wounds to the masculine energy that are
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
and that are need to be healed too. And
yeah, the masculine that needs to be seen and accepted and appreciated and loved for the balanced version that it is, not shut out for the parts that we're scared of from the imbalance.
Absolutely. There's so many, there's so much to heal in all of that. And in the feminists, the most I don't know, for lack of a better word, militant feminists are the ones that are the most imbalanced in their masculine energy.
They're the ones that are most scared of that masculine energy.
Right. And yeah. And
yeah.
Unfortunately, that has been the past. And so we're ready to move to the new paradigm. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this presence, the needed space for assertiveness. Is she ready to reintegrate? Or did she already do it while we were talking?
Yes, that like she was just kind of gaining this confidence, because really just realizing that I'm here and I'm stepping into that space of working with the men to help balance and make it that safe space on a more global level, on a more conscious level. And I'm working into that right now and inviting her, giving her that space to step into where she can be assertive in her no and in her yes also.
Yes.
And
those boundaries are going to be so much easier now.
Yeah.
For help. Oh my gosh. Yes. Perfect.
Yes. So she's definitely ready to reintegrate.
All right. So let's do it. And let's just be in that gratitude and that celebration of this new level of wholeness. I can just see her so clearly stamping her foot, and I love it.
Yeah. And that's the part of me that I was feeling like I was missing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an okay energy for women to express.
You know what's funny is when I was in Colorado, and I recognized it when it happened, when I was in Colorado, my really good friend that I was staying with, I was afraid that this was going to make or break our friendship, because I have changed so much, and I wasn't sure that she used to be so uptight and so just, oh my gosh, I couldn't even, the last time I was there, it just annoyed me to no end.
Yeah.
And she actually has really chilled out a lot too, as far as her being super high strung. And we both showed up in much more authentic versions of ourselves. And the energy this time was so different between us. And we really connected at such a different level. And it was amazing. But what also happened with that is we triggered each other a little bit. And one of the ways that I triggered her, which I don't know if she'll ever dive into it or not, but was singing. I've never sung in front of her. She doesn't like women's voices, but I love to sing. And so we're sitting there playing cards, and this song came on that had like a deep, like a powerful woman's voice. And she's like, "Why are you yelling?" And I'm like, "Because this song needs some power." Like so she was a little triggered by that, like this, whatever this thing is with like the feminine voice, she's got something with it. And I don't know if she'll dive into it or not, but she was hangry. She gets hangry like every time she gets hungry. And their dog he had a cone on, and he was running, like he had just put it on. You know how animals are the first time you put a cone on them.
Oh, it's so stressful. I hate that. Yeah.
And she was trying to get him into his crate, but she had his food and stuff, which is in like a thing with like on a stand. And of course, and she wasn't really helping him to guide his cone in. She was just letting him do it, and he knocked over all of the food, and it was like big.
Oh no.
And her boyfriend were both just like, he wasn't feeling well, she was hangry, and they were starting to like fight and bicker over it. And I was like, listen, just let me help you clean it up. You guys are both like, you're hungry, you're not feeling well, like we're being irrational. Let's just go get something to eat.
Your mom, you took over the mom role.
I was the mom, right? Well, she's a Leo, which I've also recognized very recently. I'm a water sign and all of my closest friends are fire signs, which is so funny. But so she's a Leo and I've never seen her fire sign really come out ever. This time she goes, this is between him and me. This has nothing to do with you. And I was like, you guys are both being irrational right now. We need to get something to eat. She goes, it doesn't matter. Right now, this is between me and him, and it has nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. And I laughed at her because I was like, you're being irrational, whatever. But at the same time, it showed me, even if you're being irrational, she is right. It was between them. It really was none of my business. It is true, right? So, but it showed me, you know what, even if you're being irrational and you're being a little bit of a bitch, it's okay to still stand up and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling and I'm going to be assertive right now. And hey, like it may have been an imbalanced way, but it was just showing me that it's okay, even if you're coming from a wounded space, to have that assertiveness. You don't have to be coming from a perfectly balanced place in order to show your feelings. It's okay for those feelings to not be coming from a balanced place, for them to come from a wounded space. So yeah, that was an important one for me to be like, okay, because I felt like I don't want to express myself with the masculine unless I've done all of my inner work and I'm really coming at this from a space of being balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, and that can hinder the expression. Yeah, I can't wait for my husband to see this one, because that's something that I'm always reminding him of, is like expressing, none of us are going to express it perfectly. We're all wounded and expressing it from a wounded place. And so I'm really sorry how this is going to come out, but blah, like that's sometimes how you just have to approach the whole, it's messy.
Like I haven't gone into this yet to dissect it, but I'm feeling this right now.
Yeah. And I need to express it. And I read the most, did I bring the book? I've been really using and enjoying, and this book has been like such a huge helper. Conscious Language, The Logos of Now, and then the subtitle is The Discovery, Code, and Upgrade to Our New Conscious Human Operating System. So it's a lot of stuff that like you would have kind of like with neuro-linguistic programming and energy psychology and, the stuff about being conscious with the words we use, but it goes even deeper into the spiritual realm. So it's not just a surface. That's NLP is, I think, not a complete, and which is why
it's oftentimes used kind of manipulative.
And it's the reason that you need to add the spiritual element of the energy work, and that, you can use some elements of NLP, but this really, and now I forgot what I was going to say about, expression. The opposite of depression is expression. Yeah. And, for anybody who struggles with depression, as soon as you hear that sentence, the truth of that. And I'm very expressive, so it's kind of, I know how to deal with depression. I mean, I take my EFAs and I do my expressive stuff, and
I've always been very expressive, and I've never really experienced depression.
Well, I haven't experienced it, but my husband is not expressive. And so he's been really battling with that. Like, why does the depression keep coming back? He like finds something that,
that's so interesting.
Go away, and then it keeps coming back. And when I told him that yesterday, it was just like light bulbs went off. Like, yes. It's okay to express from that wounded place. We've got to somewhere.
I'm totally stealing. Hold on. I want to write down the thing of that book, because I want to. It says that in this book?
I think that was one of his. I read it in here yesterday.
I want to write it down because I
have it in the Conscious Creation Library.
Oh, okay.
And if I don't, I got to put it on there. But I'll Conscious Language, and the author is Robert Tennyson Stevens.
With a PH or a V?
V.
Well, I don't know where my pen went. I ate it.
It's okay. We got a recording of it. So y'all get this book. I'm really digging the way he describes a lot of stuff. He's like so much describing, you know, a lot of what you experience when you do like Kundalini and energy psychology and, you know, some of this work of bringing all this stuff to the conscious, because language is the way we, you know, deal with everything. The way we describe what's happening in our subconscious and in our conscious mind and in our, you know, and so the words we choose, you know, just even like he was talking about, just even using the word need and want implies lack. So, you know, and that's something that I've been curious about, like how do certain words in your vocabulary, it's hard to get them out in a practical way, you know, like how practically can you take the word need out of your, you know, because I started thinking about that, like we're always talking about with our kids, like we want to get everybody's needs met and we want to try to balance everyone's needs and we want, you know, like, and that's a helpful word.
Oh my God, my kindergartner has brought home sheets of needs and wants.
Right. Yeah. And so, this is a very ingrained idea in our, you know, in our physical experience here that we have, you know, but when you know the truth of the divine is that we don't have any needs. They're all taken care of. They're all provided for. That cloak is always there. That divine feminine is always there to, you know, and it's that we can't see the solution is really all it is. We think we need it. We think we want it. We just don't know. It's that we don't know how to get in alignment with it yet.
Yeah.
Is all it is. But so this has been really a great helper.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick that one up.
Yeah. Well, it feels like we're complete with the work for today. Let's celebrate again the reintegration of stamping.
I feel like we definitely I feel like that was amazing. That was exactly what I needed to get at for both of those things. And it did end up kind of bringing both the masculine and the feminine part into it anyways, which was perfect.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Well, I know it always works out somehow that, you know, if we follow the muscle testing,
it works.
We get what we need. We figure it out. And I love how you, at the beginning, you said there's this door and it's like so much the unknown on the other side. That really like encompasses like how this work is. A lot of times it's like, I have no idea. I know there's a problem. I know there's some imbalance, but I have no idea what's on the other side of that door.
I had no idea what to expect from either one of those doors, but it was exactly what I needed.
It makes so much sense now that we see it. It's like, oh, duh, of course, those are the pieces of yourself that you needed to heal.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Oh, beautiful. So I can't wait to hear how this reverberates into the,
I'm so excited to be like closing out these chapters, and I'm so excited for what I'm moving into next year. Oh my God.
Yes. Absolutely. You need the little stampy girl and you need that innocent piece of yourself, right? That's a very important piece that most of us need to heal, you know, that very, very young, innocent, you know, we all have a door somewhere in there that has, you know, an innocent piece of ourselves that has been, we just had to shut it off and protect it because this world is not kind.
No. Well, and
for the most part, we're going to change that, right? We're going to, let's pivot on that. In the past, the world,
we're the cycle breakers.
It's changing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank heavens. All right, y'all. Well, we'll say goodbye to our friends watching on YouTube, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.